Hey, interesting. This morning, just dropped my daughter. I've been to the gym this morning. I dropped my daughter off at college, well, at school. She's got a first exam first of her GCSEs in creative media today, and she was so anxious this morning. The anxiety was really, really high, and all the way pretty much this morning, she's not been very present, and I took her to school this morning, literally just dropped her off, and she didn't really say too much all the way there. She was pretty quiet, pretty mute, to be honest, and obviously I could tell that the anxiety was kicking in for her. So I tried to sort of talk a little bit, but if you've had anxiety or you understand it a little bit, actually the more you talk and the more things are going on, the more the noise gets louder and louder and louder. So yeah, it's probably best not to say anything, although that feels really awkward, driving along, not saying anything. Not as a dad trying to encourage her to, to talk or just to relax or whatever, and understand that what she's gonna do on the grand scheme of life doesn't mean a whole lot, but actually in the moment when it feels really big, it's nerve-wracking. So but it got me thinking on the way back. I was doing a couple of voice notes with my wife and on it, and I said, when I dropped her off, she bumped into somebody else that she obviously knew there at school, and they walked across the bridge, and they looked like they were chatting away and almost like she was fine. But that made me feel better as dad, obviously, but at the same time, it made me think about, I actually said on the voice note that you can, the anxiety is what you're really thinking, and you're mute all the way there, and you really don't want to talk, and your brain's racing at 1,000 miles an hour. But actually, when you get to the gates, you put on a brave face and you mask it, and you just chat away with friends and stuff. I know it sometimes feels easier when you're a kid, and then when you're an adult, it feels like these things are a lot bigger, like paying bills or making big decisions in relationships or whatever it may be. And I guess that's kind of similar to business owners. Got me thinking about business in general, that when we did an event recently, and people are at the event and they're like, the face that I'm seeing is somebody who's going to go out there and actually just tear it up, just tear this thing up and just grow their business. And then when they get home, there's actually the real person sort of comes through, or the real feeling and the anxieties and the fears and the frustrations and the beliefs and just everything else that's underlying that face that you're masking, the person that you want to become, the person that you show up as to your employees, to your clients, to your family. And as a man, I understand that you will turn up and you put a brave face on for your family. Of course, you don't want your family to feel that that you're stressed and you're suffering, but at the same time, behind that, you're worried about paying the bills, you're worried about keeping people in work, you're worried about where the next lead's coming from, you're worried about all these things, the social sort of acceptance, what people are going to think if things don't work out. All of these things are going on in your mind, but you're actually sitting there going, yeah, I feel fine, but actually you don't feel fine at all. And that's the reason, one of the reasons I've got like this thing, it's okay to not be okay and stuff like that really resonated with me when I first met Hitesh, because I've felt like that, and I still feel like that at times, where what I'm showing people sometimes when I'm really stressed inside, and I'm like, I'm fine, it's good, and then you sort of process that, and it is generally good, and it's okay, and you come through it and you learn lessons from it. But we do put on this mask as business owners and don't allow ourselves to talk as much as we could. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, and I'm not sort of advocating that people should be talking every time there's a problem and creating something that isn't there, because life is a series of failures and challenges and whatever until you reach the successes that you're looking for. But the more that you want from life, I guess, the more pressure you put on yourself, the more comparison that you make, And that's really why I do what I'm doing now. At first, when I first started my coaching business, it was kind of by accident, just to help a few people. But then I started to think, oh, you know, there's a business in here, I can make some money out of it. But the more I've done it, the more I've seen people struggle, the more I've seen people stress, the more I've seen people trying to do something important and amazing for their families, the more I realize that this is just about the impact that I want to make. And actually the money side of it is great. Like, as with any business that's going well, it is great, and I do appreciate that, and people have to invest in something to value it, and you're teaching people great lessons by doing that. But it is about the impact, it is about the lives that you can change, and it is about making sure that people that are wearing these masks, when really inside they're breaking, that's why I'll do what I'm doing. That's why I want to do what I'm doing. That's why I wanted to share this message this morning. So my daughter was feeling anxious this morning, but when she got to school, she put on a brave face, she started talking to her friends, and they don't really know how she's feeling, probably. When I speak to a business owner and they say, yeah, you know, I love what I do and stuff like that, I'm like, do they really love what they do? I've been around the block so long that I know behind that, they did love what they were doing, but somehow along the way it's got muddled up with all of the things that you need to do to run a business, and it just gets so confusing. So you know, I hope that my message helps. I hope that is making the impact that I want to make, and I know that if I just show up consistently and often and keep sharing the way that I feel, because being authentic is, again, this is what I said to my daughter, just do you. Be the best that you can be, the best version you can be today of yourself, and that will always be enough. Even if the grades don't match that, will always be enough. And I want people to feel like that being them is going to be enough, because that's how my struggle is, making sure that when I show up all of the time, that I'm just being me, I'm being pure, authentic to me, I'm being real to me, and I'm sharing the message that I'm passionate about, will have the biggest impact. But I know if I want to build this and I want to make this message go as far as it can possibly go, then I'm going to have to show up more often, even if I don't feel comfortable doing it, even if I'm not sure the message is going to resonate with people. I have to be present and I have to be consistent if I really want to make the impact that I want to make. So thank you for watching this video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment. If you're watching on Facebook, comment, or Instagram, please comment. Tell me what you've got from the video, because the more I can connect with people, the more impact I can make, and that's what I really want to do. Again, thank you for watching, and this video was really about, you know, the mask that we put on when really inside there's pain that we're feeling, and it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to not be okay, but really it's not getting bogged down in that and letting it control your life. So thank you for watching. Again, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you found useful, and I'll keep sharing my message, and I'm going to keep sharing my message until I make the impact that I really need to make on the world. Thank you for watching.